Okay, ready when you all are.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for coming here this afternoon. You were at the funnest school board meeting of the month. Is where we're going to celebrate everybody. So again, thank you for coming. I call this meeting to order, and we will start with the flags with Amanda. Would you lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any changes or additions to the agenda?
We do not tonight.
All right. We'll move to the consent agenda.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 That now takes us to superintendent report.
Okay, wonderful. We're going to start as we usually do with our student leadership update from Ridgefield High School, and I am looking for Michaela in the audience. There she is. We'll welcome Michaela up to the microphone. Sorry. It's okay.
Hello, good evening, President Jones, Superintendent Dr. Rodriguez, and the board. My name is Michaela Nix, and I'm enthusiastic about sharing ASB's activity this month. So first, we have our multicultural night, which was hosted by NHS. This is a first for us and a first for this event. This event was created, and our vision for this event was to share the growing culture and diversity within our community. So we had different cultural performances and showcases, different artworks up for students and community members to see the represented diversity in this event. We had board member Amber Baker there to support this event, so we really appreciate you coming. So yeah, as our community grows and as Ridgefield diversifies, we hope that this multicultural night will do the same and grow with our community as well in order to show and represent what Ridgefield really stands for. And next, we have Tolo. This is another dance, as you can see, but this is a dance that we've elevated in a different way. We've listened to the needs and the wants of students, and instead of making this a formal dance, this is an informal dance. And aside from dancing, there's other activities that students can partake in. So it depends on the dance. As you can see, our theme is March Madness. And so with that, we will have basketball activities and different activities for students, games, and more area for students to chill and hang out with friends. This is to be more of a social event and to connect students. And as you can see with our reduced prices, this is able to be inclusive for all of our students as well. And it's supposed to be accessible. So we have a link on the screen for our GoFan if you have any students at RHS that want to access it. And up next, we have Canned Madness. This is a drive that we do in partnership with the Family Resource Center. This is a yearly drive that we do. We have our bracket posted up proudly on the RHS walls for students to see who they're winning. This is a 32-team bracket between all of the teachers at our school in order to boost school morale and connect the students in hopes that there's more participation, seeing who they're up against each week. So as we go through and collect the cans each week, you will see your teacher of choice posted up on the bracket to see who wins in hopes that we'll get some more participation from students. And finally, last but not least, my favorite to present with you guys, our Unified Prom. Up on the screen, I have some life skills students being asked by our NHS students to prom. We had made some signs for them. Some people brought some flowers and candy. We had amazing reactions, lots of tears, laughter, and some confusion, but all reasonable reactions as well. If you don't know what Unified Prom is our version and in collaboration with two other special education departments, Woodland and La Center. This is ran by Natalie Evans and NHS in order to give these life skills students in order to socialize with other students and give them an opportunity that a lot of students are deprived of. If you're in this special education department, there are certain things that restrict these students from coming to the social gatherings with the rest of their student body. So in hopes of providing them with more of a safe environment for them to enjoy themselves is what we're doing here. So we provide food, music, and lots of other fun things and photos as well. So that event will be held at RHS this Saturday, and hopefully it goes well. Before I close off my presentation, I'd like to give a huge shout out to our ASB president, Jack Radosevich, who just hosted a men's volleyball tournament. We were competing against multiple other schools, Battleground, Hawkinson, and I think La Center, and we raised about $1,200 in fundraising for the donation of choice. The donation of choice was a memorial fundraiser for a student at Battleground High School. So we were able to raise $1,200 for them. So thank you guys for your time, and I'm excited to present what we will be doing next month. Thank you.
As always, a great report, Michaela. Thank you. We're going to move into the next part of our reports for the month, which is our Student of the Month presentation. And if I could have Director Alan Endringa come to the microphone to present the first student.
I think I saw Audrey come in.
She's here.
Oh, wait. I think I was watching the board.
She's on her way. She's running late. She texted me. I just didn't see it until a minute ago. Sorry. There we go.
Is it okay if I step away from the lectern and come over here? Well, welcome everybody. This is a cool school board meeting because we get to celebrate students, and I have the pleasure of let me touch that. You know, I was a vocal major in college, and if we chewed down in choir, you probably kicked out of school. I have the pleasure of introducing Audrey Reed. So Audrey, I'm going to tell you how this works because everybody else is going to follow your steps. So after I get done reading your the write-up, you're going to go to the back of the red carpet and you're going to walk up the red carpet and then just kind of pause up here while we recognize you and get some pictures. So here's what we have to say about Audrey. Being able to support student success in a variety of ways is a reason Wisdom Ridge Academy exists and is successful for our 254 students. On our March Student of the Month, Audrey Reed tells her story of why she chose Wisdom Ridge Academy. I was feeling super anxious after moving to Ridgefield from Bothell, Washington. It was really hard for me as a middle schooler to come to a new place, make friends, and deal with all the challenges that came with it. I wasn't doing well in a regular school setting, so I needed something that would help me with my social and emotional needs as well as my academic needs. The best part about Wisdom Ridge is the flexibility and the opportunities to connect with others if you want it. It's never forced on you. I love all the cool field trips and mostly enrichment group and social hour. Plus, it forces you, this is a great sentence, listen to this one, everyone. It forces you to start learning how to adult. We have to keep track of our own schedules and make sure we stay on top of things. Audrey's teacher, Mrs. Robley, says Audrey has proven herself to be an outstanding student, finishing semester 1 with straight A's. She also says of Audrey, she's a joy to be around and has a very bright future. Audrey has 2 career paths that she is interested in. One is to go to cosmetology school and work with Hollywood clients, or she could open up her own business locally. And the other is to become a marine biologist because she loves the ocean. Whatever path Audrey chooses, we are confident that she is paving her path with her strong work ethic, commitment, and we are proud that she represents the students at Wisdom Ridge Academy as the March Student of the Month. Come on down, Audrey. Audrey, who did you bring with you tonight?
My mom and my brother and my dad.
Does anybody want to say anything? It's not required, but it's an opportunity.
It's encouraged.
All right. You don't even have to come up and present today.
As her mom and also as an educator myself, yay, my kid did it, woo. Yeah, nice job, Audrey.
I'm Andrea's dad, and I'm just very proud of her. She's done a great job here.
Oscar Basket,
Angie's here for Michael tonight.
Oh, Angie's here.
Angie. Oh,
All the things that I wasn't able to fill in.
I'm here to share with the ELC Student of the Month. The ELC Student of the Month here is Lenoa, and is it Kalava? Kalave, thank you. And this is what the staff at ELC had to say about you, my friend. Are we gonna make her sit or can you walk on the red carpet while I'm speaking? Let's see your full minute. Lenoa has shown incredible growth this year. She always brings a bright smile to our school each day. She loves exploring new activities, engaging enthusiastically during circle time, and being a wonderful classroom helper. Her kindness and willingness to assist her classmates make her a joy to be around. She's always eager to learn, share, and build friendships, making a positive impact in our classroom. We have loved watching her progress academically and socially, and we couldn't be proud of her achievements. Her enthusiasm and caring nature set a great example for her peers. Congratulations to Lenoa on this well-deserved recognition. Keep up the amazing work. Today. You want to share who came? Mama, you don't want to share something?
So myself, her mom, her dad, who's a teacher over at Ridgefield High School, and then her auntie, uncle, and cousins. So yeah, we're super proud of you and keep up the good work.
All righty, I'm up here for Union Ridge, and our friend at Union Ridge who's being recognized for Student of the Month is Miss Paisley Zornato. Paisley, take your lap. Paisley, here's what the staff at Union Ridge has to say about you. Paisley is an outstanding student and an even better person. She's conscientious, always striving to do her best, and consistently demonstrates gratitude for those around her. When you see Paisley, you can count on hearing a heartfelt thank you. Her kindness and generosity shine through in how she supports her classmates, as she always is the first to step up when someone needs help or encouragement. One of Paisley's greatest strengths is her patience. She takes the time to explain concepts to her peers, ensuring they fully understand before moving on. She embraces challenges with enthusiasm and understands that growth comes through perseverance. Paisley isn't afraid to take on difficult tasks, knowing that failure is part of the journey to success. Paisley's dedication, kindness, and determination make her a deserving choice for Student of the Month. Without a doubt, we will continue to hear great things about her in the future.
I brought my mom, my brother, my dad, my mom, and my grandpa.
Yeah, great job, Paisley. Not sure if anyone else will speak, but we're so proud of you. Every day you somehow surprise us, but keep working hard and shoot for the stars.
You are my favorite granddaughter. All of them, which is one. And we're so proud, Baba and I are so proud of you. You're just a sweet, bright light, and everybody that knows you loves you. And Jiddu loves you.
And then we have Tony from Southbridge.
All right, Millie girl. I'm here to help celebrate Millie Trujillo, our Southbridge Student of the Month. Millie. Hey, Millie, this is what your teacher and staff had to say about you. Millie is a fantastic example of what being a Roadrunner is all about. She is kind and caring, often seeking out ways to help and support both friends and classmates, like offering to work as partners when somebody is struggling, or being a leader and helping other students feel more comfortable using tools they may need to be successful in the classroom and out at recess. Millie works incredibly hard in the classroom to overcome struggles so she can continue learning and growing. She has made amazing growth in her assignments and on her iReady test this year. She is the first person to volunteer to help, and every adult at school knows she can be trusted to be responsible, respectful, and kind. Her teacher and myself and a whole lot of staff at Southbridge are very proud of you, Millie. Want to share with us who you brought this evening?
I brought my mom, my dad, my brother, my grandma.
Would anyone like to say some celebratory words about Millie?
I'm Millie's mom, and I just want to say I'm so proud of you for overcoming so many things, and you just keep trying every single day, and we just are so impressed with what you've done.
Millie, enjoy the limelight.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here to help honor the Sunset Ridge Student of the Month, and that is Cesar Chavez Lopez. Come on up, Cesar. Cesar, this is what Sunset Ridge has to say about you and your teachers in the audience if you didn't get a chance to see her. Cesar is a shining example of being respectful, responsible, and resilient. He consistently demonstrates a positive attitude at school. When presented with a tough challenge, he embraces that challenge and can persevere, adapt, and point out the positives in a given situation. He actively engages in class decisions by asking meaningful questions and thoughtfully sharing his insights. Cesar understands his strengths and needs and can advocate for his learning by seeking help and clarification when needed. Cesar is friendly and outgoing, regularly offering help to his classmates. He is an enthusiastic collaborator. He is able to share his ideas and apply feedback from others to improve his learning. In both his homeroom and WIN classes, Cesar gives his best effort in all of his classwork. Cesar is a fantastic fifth grade leader who consistently demonstrates our 3 R's. His kindness, dedication, and teamwork make him an outstanding role model. Way to go, Cesar.
I brought my dad and my mom, and I want to say thank you to my teacher sitting over there for picking me up.
any, either of you like to say anything?
Oh, wow, so I'm proud of you, Mijo, so good job. Keep it like that, okay? Thank you, guys.
Diré algo de parte de tu padre. De su hermano.
His brother.
Good job, César. Decir algo de parte de mí.
From my heart.
Estoy muy orgullosa de ti.
I'm very proud of you.
Eres un hijo excelente.
You're an excellent son.
Yo soy muy llorona, pero te amo.
I cry a lot. I love you.
Sigue adelante.
Keep moving forward.
Vas por buen camino.
You're on a good road.
Gracias.
Thank you.
All right, it is with great pleasure that RHS has chosen senior Noah Stromberg as our March Student of the Month. Come on down. Noah was chosen in a month where staff were challenged to think of a student who demonstrates a curiosity and drive to become a better student, leader, and citizen. Noah embodies all of these qualities. He constantly thinks critically and creatively, approaching his schoolwork with an open mind and a willingness to engage with complex ideas. Outside of the classroom, Noah is involved in a variety of activities that reflect his diverse interests and strong work ethic: skiing, lacrosse, football, and dirt bikes. But what many may not know is that Noah even shines on a stage, where last year he performed a Barbie-themed American Sign Language musical number in front of a sold-out crowd. I was there. It was amazing. When asked what he enjoys most about Ridgefield High School, Noah shared his appreciation for the community. He values the smaller class sizes and supportive teachers who take the time to help students succeed. His most impactful teacher has been Miss Uhas, who is here, who he says is relatable and adapts to the needs of her students. And Miss Uhas feels equally grateful for Noah, writing, "Noah helps his classmates to be more empathetic and compassionate. He is a top-notch sputter and human being." Looking ahead, Noah plans to attend Montana Tech's trades program to become a lineman. Noah's current teachers and coaches believe he will leave a lasting legacy at RHS because of his sincerity, his fun personality, his engagement with learning, and for his leadership in the classroom. Noah, thank you for being such an outstanding human and for embodying the values of Ridgefield High School. We are proud to have you represent our school as Student of the Month. What did you bring with you?
I got my grandma, my mom, and she asked me.
Who would like to speak, if anyone? That's even more reason why you should. Us, Mom. Sorry.
I'm so thankful for Ridgefield High School too, for seeing who he is, you know, and being able to acknowledge that I'm proud of him. Very much, but can't wait to see what you do with your future.
Just want to double check, is Faisal here this evening? Okay, we are going to move into our employees of the month, and first up is Stacy Andrew. Stacy, you were nominated for your incredible dedication to Union Ridge. At Union Ridge Elementary, we're fortunate to work with so many exceptional individuals, and Stacy stands out as one of the brightest stars. As the person responsible for overseeing both of our kitchens and managing meals and snacks at the Early Learning Center, she's consistently demonstrated remarkable leadership and commitment. Stacy makes the complex task of planning meals, ordering ingredients, and preparing food for over 700 students every day seem effortless, though we all recognize the hard work behind it. Her excellent communication with parents, our nurse, and staff ensures that dietary restrictions are met and that food is available for those in need. Her positive attitude creates a welcoming cafeteria environment that students and staff genuinely appreciate. Beyond her role in the kitchen, Stacy has been a mentor to her staff and built meaningful connections with students and the wider community. She frequently collaborates with Ridgefield Family Resource Center and other local organizations, demonstrating her commitment to service and volunteerism. Whether she's greeting others warmly each morning, decorating the lunchroom, or supporting families in need, Stacy's kindness, creativity, and unwavering dedication make Union Ridge a better place for everyone. She's an invaluable asset to the Ridgefield School District, and we are so lucky to have her. All right. Oh, we could have let Jill talk about you too. Did you bring people with you that want to talk about you?
My daughter,
It's like her chance. Okay. We were really excited to honor you this evening because you are a part of our Chartwell's partnership, and I just want to recognize Joel, who is also here, who oversees all of our kitchen programs in the district. So thank you, Chartwell's. Our next employee of the month is Shelly House. Shelly, come on down. Did you know that it's Ridgefield Arts Month? I hope so. So by design, we wanted to honor you, Shelly, on this month of all the months, because you are a wonderful art teacher, a dedicated drawing and painting teacher at Ridgefield High School, who has been named Staff of the Month, a recognition that comes as no surprise to those who know her. She has spent years nurturing students' artistic talents, crafting lessons that challenge and inspire regardless of skill level. Whether teaching shading, perspective, or color theory, she ensures each concept is accessible and engaging. Ms. House fosters an environment where creativity and personal growth flourish. She provides thoughtful, constructive feedback, helping students push beyond their comfort zones while building confidence. Her classroom is more than a place to learn art. It's a safe haven where students feel encouraged and supported. Even after moving on, many return to seek her guidance and share their success, a testament to the lasting impact Shelly has had. As a colleague said it best, Shelly is a true beacon of light at our school. I don't know anyone as positive, kind, and caring as she is, both towards staff and students. Her passion for what she does is evidenced in her presence and in the way it shines through her students. Congratulations, Ms. House, on this well-deserved honor.
Yeah, that's up to you.
Okay, we would like to have all of our students of the month and employees of the month come back down. You get one more shot at this red carpet, and we're gonna take one big group picture.
She's here. Yeah, she got here. Okay. Does he have something to say? Yeah, yeah. You can bring him on. It's totally cool.
Wait, we're not done, board, so just hang out for a moment. We're very excited to honor one of our students, and I believe Director Andringa is here to make the presentation. Lenore, if you'd like to make your way down the red carpet, you can do so.
So it's a pretty special presentation. Each year, students take the PSAT and the SAT, which is typically used for entrance into colleges and universities across the United States. I did a little bit of research. I don't know this off the top of my head, but I did a little bit of research. So if my research is wrong, you can blame ChatGPT. But there's about 4 million juniors across the United States and about 4 million seniors across the United States. So it's pretty much the same. And there are 15,000 of those students are selected or honored as a National Merit Scholar finalist. Menor earlier this school year was awarded or honored as a semifinalist and then went on to be one of those 15,000. If you do the math in your head, you probably already got it right. That's 0.4% of students across the United States that are recognized by the National Merit Scholarship Program. And Mrs. DeShazer, help me with this one. I think it's not a math question. In my 12 years that I've been with the Ridgefield School District, I can only think of 2 other students who have achieved this recognition. Am I correct on that? Can you think of any? Yeah, this is a big deal, folks. And so I'm very pleased to honor a certificate of merit. These are my cheat sheet notes. That says this certificate of merit is awarded to Menor Siddiqua, who has, I should have put my glasses on, who has advanced to the finalist standing in the National Merit Scholarship Program 2025. So Menor, we're really proud of you. Menor is a full-time Running Start student, but she's been with Wisdom Ridge, how many years?
4.
4, yeah, she's been with Wisdom Ridge since its inception and is now a full-time Running Start. I think you're still interested in going to medical school and studying dermatology. Is that right? Yeah. So we're so proud of you. The parents get a chance to talk here too. Who did you bring with you?
I brought my mom, my dad, and my sister.
And anyone want to say anything?
Thank you. Manu, we are really, really proud of you. We are also proud of your mom, who basically sacrificed her career to raise the kids. So it's a big deal, and kudos to her. So,
I'm very proud of you, Manu. Way to go. Great job.
So we're going
Merit for the National, what's it called? National Merit Scholarship Program. Congratulations.
Do you want to take your photo, if that's okay too?
Sure.
Congratulations. Yes.
Yeah, one more, or don't run away. We have one more person to honor this evening before we get into our businessy business. And to recognize a tremendous community volunteer who has done a lot for our Ridgefield students, families, and community. I have Chris Poppert from our Ridgefield Family Resource Center.
Thank you, Dr. Rodriguez. Thank you, President Jones and board. Thank you for staying up this long. I'm trying to not let my emotions get in front of my words, but one of the best privileges with my job is being able to work alongside pretty amazing volunteers in our community, volunteers that are dedicated, that have a heart to serve, that do things behind the scenes that nobody knows about. And tonight we get to honor one of those volunteers, Margie Stoner. Margie Stoner, so I'm not gonna look at her because then, here we go. Okay, so 15 years ago, there was a pastor at the Methodist Church that heard about a need for hungry kiddos on the weekend to get food to those students. They had talked to a counselor somewhere along the line. And when Margie heard this, she rolled up her sleeves and ran down to Union Ridge, met with Nikki Dunn, who was a counselor at the time. And she said, okay, how do we do this? What do we do? She realized that she could not stand by knowing that there were kids going home hungry on the weekends. So between she and Nikki devised a plan of the program called the Weekend Food Bag Program. And this program has just exploded, and Margie got rolled her sleeves up, like I said. She went to her church, she asked for donations, and she started shopping and packing bags for these students on the weekends. No small task, y'all, no small task. The students were identified by the counselors. She would put the bags together, then she would deliver them to the schools. For 15 years, get this. And for those of you that have been around Ridgefield for a while, there used to be a fundraiser down at the 4th of July parade time, downtown celebration time, where it was a strawberry shortcake fundraiser, and those proceeds went to this weekend food bag program. So it's been a long, long haul. She has been unwavering in her commitment to be sure that students aren't hungry on the weekend. She's done it with a little bit of help. Her husband Al has been by her side, along with her friend Mary, but really she is a one-man show. She is passing the torch off to a team of people at the Methodist Church. It is taking numerous people to fill this void, so it's really important to me that we honor her. I got to know Margie 9 years ago when I came into this position with the Family Resource Center, and there had been a decision to make the communication with the counselors to Margie a little more streamlined. So before I came on board, she was contacting counselors every week to get the numbers, right? And so then when I came on board, I would gather that information from the counselors so that I could just text her and let her know how many bags per building. And it does change every week. Like just this week alone, we've added 4 bags to that number. I am gonna look at my notes because I am getting a little emotional. Nikki Dunn, who was a counselor at the time, she no longer is a counselor at Union Ridge, but reached out to her to let her know that you were retiring from the position, and these words come from Nikki. Margie was a driving force behind the whole program. I was so excited when she first came to me and with the idea, because the kids would finally get healthy food they would enjoy and actually eat on the weekend. She was always so accommodating. Whenever I had to add bags, usually at the last minute, and I always look forward to seeing her when she dropped them off at the school. She's one of those huge behind the scenes assets that only a few people knew about, but that benefited so many. Other counselors said, over the past 9 years, it is truly rewarding to work alongside her and witness her unwavering dedication to supporting our students. Her commitment to providing weekend food bags has made a profound impact, one I don't think she will ever fully realize. Time and time again, students have expressed their gratitude, sharing how much these resources meant to them and their families. Her kindness and generosity have left a lasting mark on the Ridgefield community, and her years of service will be remembered with deep appreciation. I recently had one of our former graduates who was a recipient of these food bags, and they have gone off to college and are really making a turn in their life, and they had told me that they want to do what she did when they are financially able to do so. So no, Margie, man, this is a generational thing. Okay. So Margie,
How many bags do we have?
yeah, so when we first started, it sounds like there's about 7. As of right today, we're at 93 bags. So yeah. So Margie, I'm gonna have you walk the red carpet. Margie's out taking on some new adventures in her life. Her dedication to our students is a wonderful example how community can connect with public education and fill the gap. This is a model right here. And I just want to let you know that you are a model to a lot of other churches in town and to individuals. Margie, like you will be missed like no other. And my life, and I know I can speak on the behalf of other counselors, is so much more richer by knowing you. So thank you so much.
Margie, do you want to say?
No.
anything? Anyone else want to say anything? Okay. We just want to say thank you so much. We are going to take your picture if that's okay. So we can celebrate you with everyone that wasn't here. Okay. Yeah, give the photo, Chris.
Jenny. So,
If you don't do it on your tank or you want.
I'll stand next to you.
So I'm Margie's fourth pastor the last 15 years, and she has inspired us. Once a month, we do a collection for the food bags. We also have people specifically giving, and so at any point in time, we have $6,000 that's running through our accounts. And we've got the guy behind me that's currently shopping, and 90 is a lot. And we're also gonna do food bags for the spring break, big bags to get the kids through the entire week. So Margie, thank you so much for what you taught us.
just have. Okay, I give up. I just had to wait for people to walk by.
Oh, okay.
It's really what's happening.
Okay, are we gonna do a quick break?
Recess.
Then I can get your slide.
Yes, we're gonna take a 2 to 3 minute recess. So people that want to go home and get dinner, they can. People that want to stay and listen to the rest of the meeting, you're more than welcome to. But you're free to leave.
Like envelope up here. It's the National Marriott. Related. Oh, thanks.
Oh my gosh, this is. There we go. I forgot the clicker at home, so I'll have, or at my desk, so I'll have to advance for you. Sorry about that. So, okay.
All right, we are going to resume the meeting.
Okay, Well, we're still in the superintendent updates, my favorite part of the meeting. Thank you for being here to celebrate. Thank you for those of you that are here for the whole thing. Excited to chat with you. So a couple of slides for you this evening. A lot of things happening on the government front, both at the state level and the federal level. So I just wanted to update the board and the community as well on a few things that are happening. So Linda McMahon was confirmed as the new Secretary of Education. We are continuing to hear rumors about a closure of the Department of Education at the federal level. So I just want to state for everyone that closing the Department of Education would require federal congressional action. That doesn't mean that responsibilities can't be reassigned, that layoffs can occur, all of those things. But it's a little more complicated than just saying we're closing the department. But it is something that is impacting us as a public school system and just trying to change, watch all of the changes and make sure we're staying compliant with everything. The other question I've been getting a lot recently as well is around federal education funding. While we are not a recipient of a huge amount of federal education funding, we do receive a portion, and most of that funding is really for students who need additional support. So Title I dollars help to support students who are at the poverty level or below or designated as low income, to provide some additional supports for them. Our food services free and reduced lunch funding is a federal program, so there's funding there. And there's a number of discretionary grants, like things like the National Institute for Science does grants that sometimes go to teachers as well. So we've really been advised from our state guidance from OSPI that the Title I funding is likely very secure because of the way that it is structured. We believe our food service funding is also pretty secure, not as secure as Title I, but more secure. But we have been advised to be cautious about relying on any other type of discretionary grant. So I know this has been an interest in our community that as a district, we're looking for grants to help to fund programs and projects. And so at this time, pursuing additional federal grants is probably not something we would invest a lot of time in until things feel a little bit more stable. I did want to share with you the amount of funding that we do receive. This is a graphic. It's available on the OSPI website, and you can see the key there at the bottom from green to red. Districts across Washington state really go from almost no federal funding up to 44% of their funding. The dark red, it often is in places that tend to be more rural. There's often a shortage of high-paying work in those places. And so they will be the hardest hit if there is a reduction in federal funding. As an average across our entire state, it's just shy of 7% of our funding. So that is not catastrophic, but it will be catastrophic to some of the districts in our state. Ridgefield specifically, just because of the population and the region that we're in, we receive about just over 3% of our funding from federal funds. That equates to just over $2 million, so it's not nothing. It is a good chunk of our funding, or an equivalent of $492 per student. So we will continue to watch as we see what additional actions may be taken at the federal level, and certainly hope that that funding will be stable for our district as well as our neighbors. Updates from OSPI, they are also really coordinating with other education departments at the state level across the nation. There is a good network there among governors as well. Title IX, as you know, was rolled back to the 2020 rules. There's been a lot of guidance coming out from OSPI in the state of Washington around that. There are some conflicts with 2020 rules and Washington state law. Additionally, the federal government put out an address regarding DEI, or diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. Important to know that for our state, we're one of 3 that has already gone to the court system, and there are injunctions in place that basically stop that federal order from taking effect until there's further action by the court. That includes the state of Washington, Maryland, and Rhode Island, which I hope that's the right abbreviation for Rhode Island. state legislative session, a little closer to home, is we are past the halfway mark, a little good chunk there. We had three things I would say as public education across our state that we've really been asking our legislature for. The first is a increase in special education funding. Our district, as you know, because I've shared before, we are about $1 million in the red this year in our special education expenditures. That is not a unique story to Ridgefield. Pretty much every district in our state is underfunded in the area of special education. There are still some bills alive that would address some increases in the multiplier factor, but it has been significantly cut down from the original proposals. It can continue to change, so just encourage folks to consider reaching out to their legislators if they have thoughts on those bills. The second item is the MSOCs, maintenance, supplies, and operating costs. This is what pays to keep the lights on, the heat working. It covers our insurance costs, all of those types of bills that are a part of just having school every day. There are some bills still alive in the legislature, but those have also been reduced quite significantly from the original proposals that were brought forward. And finally, the third priority was around transportation funding, and that bill is dead. So that will be a topic in a future legislative session. A couple of other hot topics from OSPI, seated lunch rules. This has been a discussion for a while now that it would really be great for kids to go out and run around at recess first and then come and sit down and have a lovely 20-minute lunch with the thought that most kids who eat first rush through their lunch because they want to go outside to play. I can't blame them. This is a challenge though, to have this required 20 minutes in your seat after you've gotten your tray. Problematic for us as a district and for many other districts due to facilities. When we have lunchrooms that don't accommodate entire schools, even when we're running 2 lunchrooms, for example, at Union Ridge and South Ridge, the amount of time it takes to get all of those kids through there, we already have students eating in what I will call the brunch hour or second breakfast if you're Hobbit fans, and kids who are still eating at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which is a long time for 8 and 9-year-olds to go. And if we were required to implement this 20 minutes, we would have to lengthen the time and we'd have students eating even earlier and eating even later. This requirement has been delayed until the 29-30 school year, so we have about 4 more years to convince the state that unless they want to build schools for us, we probably will have difficulty complying with that rule. Additional item that is important for us to take note of is discipline emergency rules and public hearings. There are public hearings currently happening this month. There was one that was virtual. There are, I believe, 4 more that are coming up, but those are in person. There is one, it might be tonight, in Vancouver, but they are across the state. And we have emergency rules that are effective immediately. They are anticipating, OSPI is anticipating permanent rules will be in effect for the next school year. So we will be getting more direction from OSPI around student discipline, around best practice, what is encouraged or required, or not allowed, as the case sometimes is. And we will anticipate having some updates to that for next fall. I also just wanted to share with the board and publicly that we're doing some local work to establish a more transparent and consistent disciplinary system in our district. Our principals do a great job, and our assistant principals who handle much of the discipline do a great job of being consistent, but building to building, there are some discrepancies. And so I have tasked the staff at View Ridge, who all left the meeting, to do an initial start on that work, and then we will be putting together a committee and inviting some families and students to be a part of that process. But we are due to update all of our student discipline policies as a board. They've not been updated since, I believe, 2019. There has been a number of legal changes in that time. So we want to make sure that we're compliant with the law and also recognize the particular needs in our own district. There have recently been several incidents involving racial slurs in our schools shared between students, and I just want to bring some attention to that. And so we will be taking that very seriously and looking to put some additional processes in place to address that type of behavior in our schools. Moving into financial impacts, we've talked briefly before about binding conditions, but this is really when a district is effectively like going into bankruptcy. They can't pay their bills and they're projecting to be in the red at the end of the school year. Currently in our state, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that are in binding conditions. There was a 7th, they were exited. They were able to put some changes in place to get out of binding conditions, but only 1. And considering we've been putting folks on these for over a year now, it takes quite a lot of time to get out of them once you're in them. Important to know, OSPI publishes financial health indicators. This is done annually, and it comes from the financial office at OSPI. They review our annual reports that are turned in November. It's always a year behind because of that. So the current report, which you can access, it's available to the public on the OSPI website, is for the 23-24 school year. And there is quite a calculation that goes into this 3.3 rating that we currently have. And you can read all about it on the OSPI website. But really what I want you to see at a glance, this is giving you the data over the last 10 years of what our rating has been. And so you can see there's been a little bit of up and down, but we're on a good trajectory at this point. I also just wanted to alert the board, Paula will be coming to you with a budget extension request sometime soon. We will need to do that in anticipation of increased spending for the elementary number 3 capital project. As you'll recall from your boot camp as board members, we predict what we will take in and also what we will spend. We cannot spend more than what we predict, even if we get more money. So that is why we'll need to bring you that budget extension here in the next few months. And my last big topic for you, last time at our board meeting, I shared with you just a look ahead to this next school year, and that truly our staffing and financial goal has been to limit any reduction in force. This is also referred to as a RIF, to the extent possible while ensuring fiscal stability and sustainability. It's very important to me that we do not find ourselves in binding conditions or in a place where we can't make payroll. Super important to me, our staff work really hard, that they're always going to be paid on time and know that they can count on that, as well as our vendors and folks that we work with, that we are able to pay our bills on time. So in light of that, you're welcome. I am bringing to you this evening, when we get to the action items, a resolution for reduction in force. And I wanted to highlight just a little bit more detail than what is in the resolution, which is fairly broad. Administrative changes in the district. We've had 5 administrative positions that have been vacated between last June, and then we have a few more that are happening at this June. We have repurposed those. So as I talked about last time, we're doing some redesign of our central services office to better meet the needs of our staff and our families and community. So we've repurposed those 5 administrative positions into different and new positions. I've heard from staff and from parents and community, as well as this board, that we need more support around special education. So we've restructured that, some more support with human resources, which we'll be rebranding as employee services, and designated support for behavior and counseling staff. We do have only 1 new administrative position, which is the Director of Career Pathways and Community Engagement. And that is because we continue to grow our CTE, our Career Technical Education programs. They generate some additional funding that can only be used for staff who are tied to CTE work, and that is fully paying for that position. So there's no levy dollars, there is no BEA state funding that is going to fund that particular position. On the certificated front, certificated is our teachers, our counselors, all the folks that you think about working in schools. We have been able to maintain fairly minimal overloads throughout this year. We do have some teachers that are on overload. That means they have a student or 2 or 3 more than what we've set as really our target class size. But we've been able to maintain that and move to an electronic system, which has been awesome. We've identified some areas of overstaffing by level and content area in our system as we've built out really a numbers-based formula for how we will staff. It makes it very transparent and clear. It ensures that that we're not playing favorites and giving this principal this support and that principal not that support. And it just makes it really easy to know what the staffing will look like building by building. We've realigned our TOSAs, or teachers on special assignments, to in-building direct support to teachers. It's a research-based strategy for really improving instruction and supporting teachers in their work so that they can get better at their craft and in supporting their own students. We are adding an additional special education classroom, which will be at Southridge Elementary next year. We opened that classroom this year, as you'll recall. It is already full and into overload. So build it and they will come. So the class is full. So we'll be adding an additional classroom there. And then this has been, I think, a long asked for item, but we're adding a 4th counselor at the high school. Given the size of our high school, it will be great to have an additional counselor there to support student needs. As we move forward with the RIF process pending your approval of the resolution this evening, we have less than 10 certificated staff across the district that are impacted. And of those, there are some open positions that some of them may choose to fill. So it will be less than that we would actually ultimately need to lay off. In the classified realm, we have generated some additional special programs revenue this year that wasn't anticipated. We've had an increase in the number of multilingual students that are enrolling in our district. That generates some of that federal funding that we were talking about. And so we have looked for how can we use some of that special programs funding to fund a few additional classified positions in an effort to keep staff whole. So we've created some things using non-BEA, non-levy funds. And again, there will be some movement. So not everyone gets to stay in their same position next year, but we do believe that we will have ultimately enough classified positions for all classified staff. I just want to take a moment and publicly say, this is not what any of us want. These are the really difficult decisions that we have to make as leaders. And I know that this creates a lot of stress for our staff, for our principals, for you all as a board as well. And just want to recognize and be honest about that stress. And particularly for a few individuals, this could be really life-changing. I'm really grateful to our union labor leaders. They have worked hard with me to try and fine-tune and find solutions. So Liz is here, Liz Stamp is here. She's one of our REA co-presidents. I don't know if Ashley, there's Ashley. I keep missing you today. It's like your hair's back and I can't recognize you. But I want to recognize Ashley Taylor. She's our RCA president, and Dave Dennett, who is our other REA co-president, who wasn't able to be here this evening, but they have been so helpful in being a thought partner with me as we've really tried to figure out how to do this in the way that is least impactful to our people. I'm also really grateful to Paula McCoy. I don't know, there she is. She has spent hours with me late in many days in the office going, what if we do this? What if we do that? Can we move this? Let's turn this up 0.25%. Let's turn that down 0.25%. And she just keeps letting me keep trying to make these little efficiencies and cost saving measures in order to try to save jobs and helping me identify other funding sources as well. So I really do believe this is the best path forward for our district as a whole. I can't in good conscience put us on a path to be in a deficit budget situation next year, because I know that continuing down that road, and we've done it the last 2 years in a row, will be more catastrophic to our staff and our system in the long run. So this is going to hurt a lot for a handful of people, but hopefully it puts us in a place where we're not in this position again. I'm really grateful for everyone in Ridgefield for where we are at this point. I look at our neighboring districts, and Vancouver laid off 12.5% of their certificated staff last year. 12.9% of their classified staff last year. Evergreen School District has laid off over 100 employees every year for the last 3 years in a row. And I cannot imagine the instability that that causes for employees. And so please know for our staff, we're doing everything we can to make sure that this becomes a predictable process and that people know once you're here that we're going to be able to keep you here. But at this time, we need to address the shortfall. So I know that was a lot of information, but I felt like it was important for the board and the public to be aware of just some background on those decisions. And on that cheery note, that is the end of my superintendent report.
Thank you, Dr. Rodriguez. Thank you for that extension of explanation. I appreciate that. Now we go to board communication.
Just a few things. I want to just recognize some of our students. I think first off, we saw tonight Lenore. That's an incredible honor. We've only had a few of those students in the past couple decades that people that have been around are aware of. Is this incredible? Just want to shout her out and thank her for representing us at such a high level. We had a state champ in gymnastics. Congrats to Lexi. And we had our knowledgeable team move on from regionals to state. Was able to be actually in Mr. Jacobson, their advisor's classroom just a few weeks ago, and the work he does is incredible. And I asked the rest of the board if you'll join me. They have a meet like right before our WASDA dinner, and a couple Thursdays or whatever day that is. What day is that?
20th.
Yeah, later next week. So told them I would see what one of those looks like, because that would be exciting to be a part of and just to see all their success. So next, yesterday I was able to take part in the National Honor Society interviews, which was a fantastic opportunity. Great program led by Mrs. Gardner, and the student officers led a really great interview process. I know some of our directors are participating this week as well. When I was in high school, I just thought of it as just a resume builder, something you threw on the resume, but our program here is very robust and very real. Our students have to complete over 40 hours of community service each year. They help put on things for the unified students. They help with turkey trot. So there's a lot of expectation that that's something really important at the high school. And so just appreciate Mrs. Gardner and her operation of a really great program. As I shared, I'll be bringing back my office hours monthly at Bunny's, moving it to the 4th Wednesday of each month. So this month I'll be there at on March 26th from 4 to 5. And Joe, I owe you some dates, so I'll shoot that to you. That's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Jake. Donna?
I'd just like to congratulate all our student of the month recipients. Thanks, Dr. Rodriguez, for your update. It's always my favorite part of the meeting as well, although I certainly wish we had better things to share. All of the hours that you spend supporting, tweaking, getting everything done. We'll get through this. We're Ridgefield strong.
Amanda.
I just wanted to also shout out, we have so many awesome things that have kind of wrapped up, and we have a lot of new things just starting, and we're really full swing into the Ridgefield Youth Arts Month, and the color run was a huge success this year, and I look forward to helping that continue to be successful. The Missoula Children's Theater put on their play last weekend, and if you've never gone, it's really amazing. The kids come in and in just a few short days put together a play and then perform it, and it's really a special experience, and I'm really proud that we have that here at Ridgefield and continue to have that. I wanted to say good luck to the kids in the choir concert. They're probably singing in a few minutes, and the boys soccer team is playing in just a few minutes as well. And then good luck to our robotics team. I think they're going off to some competitions at Yakima Thursday through Saturday, and our state HOSA kids
are going off at the convention center in Spokane tomorrow. Just a whole bunch of stuff going on. It's like spring, everything comes alive and our kids just go everywhere. So yeah, I'm looking forward to NHS interviews tomorrow.
Thank you, Amber.
Right. Let's see, I have lists of things that I've been participating in and have some report backs, but I think I want to just start by saying thank you, Dr. Rodriguez and Paula and Labor Partners for the work to help us navigate through what I wish was not part of the conversation in terms of positions for the district. I think broadly in our country right now, there's a lot of talk about riffing. And so some people may have not really heard of that much before, but it is certainly a challenge to be in a position where that is part of the conversation. And so just thank you for everyone for digging in and acknowledging the humanness of that conversation as well. On a lighter note, I did get to go to the multicultural night that the National Honor Society put on at the high school. And it was super fun and really wonderful. And I hear they're going to do it again next year. So I hope more people will attend. There was a small but mighty crew of people at the Performing Arts Center at the high school. And it was really lovely. It was a fully multi-generational evening. There were elementary school kids, there were Sunset Ridge kids, there were middle schoolers and high schoolers and parents and grandparents. It was a beautiful event and we all learned how to do the cha-cha. I hear there's video of that. I didn't bring a video, but it was very sweet and my middle school age kids were dancing it up also, which is like a huge feat. So way to go, National Honor Society high school students. Also, and Unite Ridgefield and the French Club. So it was a partnership between 3 student groups. And just shout out to Angela Gardner and Rebecca Fromlet, the teacher advisors who helped support those high school kids with their event. And really for putting on something for the whole community. It was really a fun evening. Also got to participate in National Honor Society interviews today. I came straight from there today, and I think I was in the National Honor Society also, but I don't remember anything like this. Like the RHS version is amazing. And I got to just sit and listen to maybe 20 incredible students today. So that was a treat and always fun to get to actually be with students. My coffee hours are March 20th, next Thursday from 9 to 10 a.m. at Lava Java. If you want to come and have coffee or tea with me and chat, tell me what you think about the district, ask questions. I will answer as best as I can or help find the information. Also spoke with a couple of community members last week around interpretation of public meetings. And so I was really happy to see interpretation services provided this evening for one of our families. So thank you for making sure that that happened. And one of the pieces of that conversation was thinking about headset equipment as a resource that we could potentially invest in. And it might be something we could have a conversation with the city about since we both use this room for our public meetings. On the city council, I went to the city council meeting last week and there's a new city council member. So I wanted to congratulate Megan Hamilton, who's here tonight, who I believe was also a sputter. So congrats to you, Megan, and thank you for coming to our meeting. And I think that is it from me.
Thanks, Amber. I'm gonna try to keep mine short. What I want to start with is kind of the elephant in the room, the riff. I'm a small business owner, and but then I also listed on this panel, which is a large employer, and you know, we kind of oversee the fiscal responsibility of the district and to the community. The best day of an employer is when you hire somebody. it's electric, right? You see all the possibility. The worst day is when you have to tell somebody that you can't afford to employ them anymore. And that is a hard decision to make. But it's a responsibility of a leader of a small business or a leader of a larger employer to make sure that you protect the whole. Make sure that there's a job that person potentially could come back to. And you have a responsibility to the rest of the employees. So that I just want to make sure that we don't take this decision lightly. And it's the first time that I've ever been on the board that we've had to do it. But I've sat in meetings with other districts for the last 2 years and had to sit down and listen to their stories. And it's not easy. I felt very blessed that we've been able to keep our district whole for as long as we have, but we ran out of rope, right? And unfortunately, that's where we're at. But what I want to think is from everybody involved in the district, from the top leadership all the way down to the buildings, and about creativity of how we can maneuver things and maybe move a position from a full to a half to whatever we could do to save positions. I think that our team, from Dr. Rodriguez to her entire supporting staff and administrators and teachers that all got involved to get creative. I want to appreciate that work because you saved a lot of jobs. And like you had mentioned, you don't have to look very far to see that some districts have it worse. Now, to those 10 people or I don't know the exact number because it changes, like, hey, we've been able to maneuver this, and with 10 now it's 9, we might be down to 8, that number to those 8 people, it's big. And I recognize that, and I apologize for that. But I am happy that we've turned every stone. The team has dug in and done the work to try to save as many jobs as possible. And I just want to let you know that I recognize that and appreciate it. That's all I have to say. We are at public comment.
Okay, and we do have some public comment tonight. So as a reminder, each speaker will be given 3 minutes to speak. There will be timers up on the TVs, and there will be a 30-second warning given. So Abby Braithwaite.
Thank you. First, just thank you all. The spaciousness and time for things to be understood tonight feels really real and really important, so thank you. I put together some notes, but I just want to recognize, sort of in light of everything that's been said here tonight, and the news article I read when I was supposed to be on my way here saying that maybe special ed is going to move to the Department of Health and Human Services. Everything feels a little unstable and weird, and I have a lot on my mind and a lot I've been wanting to say to y'all for the past few months, but let me find a truncated version that makes sense within the context of the evening. I think the core of the message is just I'm here to talk about the importance of special education, even with all the threats to what's going to happen. This isn't the moment to try to get some grand slam and make the most shiniest, biggest, best program that costs all the money. I recognize that. My daughter, as I think most of you know, is a graduating senior. And I'm not here really to talk about the fact that maybe her transition year isn't going to be the best. We'll talk about that at her IEP meeting. I want to land it with you for a second, but I really want to talk about what happens after she's gone, after she clears that stage and the kids that come after. I've been a pretty dedicated advocate for special education services in this district for about 15 years, something like that. And it's gotten better. There's more inclusion happening. There's more kids who have access to more really cool stuff in day-to-day life. but not all the kids and not all day. And I think about the opportunities that my kid has had, mostly because her dad and I are willing to stand up and make noise, mostly because of the background we have as advocates. And I think about the kids who don't have parents like us, who maybe are missing out on some of what my kid has gotten to access over her time at the high school. And so those are the kids I'm here for. It's those kids, her friends who are coming up after her. She's got some pretty good buddies in those life skills classrooms. And I'd like for them to be able to get out of those classrooms as much as she does and access the community as much as she does. She's a real member of the Ridgefield High School community. And it's pretty awesome to watch and hear stories, I guess, more, because I don't get up there much, but how she moves through that building with her disability, loud and proud who she is. And she gets to be herself there. And that's been amazing. And I keep looking at you because I know you're a big part of that, Mr. T, of making that a safe space for kids and making it a celebrating space for kids. So thank you. But, you know, like I said, for 50 years, students with disabilities have had a lot of federal protections. We don't know where that's going to go. The state of Washington is doing really good stuff. I really implore you guys, as you move into strategic planning and the hiring process that you're going to be involved in, to really think hard about what this district's value around special education is. And we hear a lot as parents, we don't have the money for that when we're in IEP meetings, when we're in philosophical discussions. Really tired of hearing that. We know that you don't have the money for it, but what are you going to do to educate our kids anyway? And to give our kids a really solid, strong foundation moving out into the world. So that's the thing I want to think about with all of you. Any chance you want to talk with me, I'll talk more.
Thank you, Abby. Jim Mall.
Thank you. I'm Jim Mall, President of Friends, longtime Ridgefield community member, here as president of Friends of Ridgefield National Wildlife Refuge. Thank you, Superintendent Rodriguez and Lord, for the opportunity to speak. I appreciate your transparency and the communications. As emotional as ticked off, and now I'm going to try to not get emotional again. I love the Ridgefield School District. I think it is the heart and soul of our community. You know, the Friends were, we were founded almost 30 years ago, and we've always had a relationship with Ridgefield School District. We've provided bus money. We've worked to get kids down on the refuge to have outdoor experiences. I personally felt, I was one of the founders of the Friends, that we had an extraordinary opportunity to connect our school with the refuge and differentiate ourselves in a huge way because of the opportunities that we had to provide kids with learning opportunities. I have an email here from Josie Finley, and I'm already burning through my time. But Josie's the educational outreach director for the refuge. And just really quick, I'm going to just talk. I asked Josie to put together kind of a list of some of the things that we're doing with the school district. Teachers in, so this is from Josie, teachers in Ridgefield School District, unique understanding of the refuge and are driven to find opportunities to use it as a teaching tool to connect students on the refuge. We've developed a curriculum that students and teachers can plug into when they go to the refuge. Other school districts can use this. You know, and we feel like we are just beginning. The future is truly, the biggest opportunities are still ahead of us. Some of the accomplishments last year, all fourth graders participated in field trips to the refuge. Mrs. Bergeson's fourth grade class has adopted the refuge as their way to give back to the community. Fourth grade, every kid outdoors, classrooms activities, refuge staff visit classrooms. Mrs. Hankins, art teacher at View Ridge, has been engaging seventh graders in the junior duck stamp contest. Students from the high school transition program helped in the administrative office and are helping both staff and visitors. Future opportunities, priority opportunities, hiring an education apprentice to continue to develop programs, create new opportunities for. This is really big. We've got a big construction project. The Community Nature Learning Center is going to open, I think, sometime in 2026, right around the corner. This is huge for Ridgefield. If you want to tour the facility, ever want to talk more about the refuge and the opportunities.
Thank you, Jim.
That's it. That's all we have. Sorry.
That will take us to old business.
We have no old business this evening.
We do
Sorry.
not have old business. So that will take us to new business.
Yes, it will. Okay, well, I didn't talk about this, but people have been calling a lot about this pretender. She'll be so happy that this gets taken care of tonight. So item number 9A is to approve the district calendar for the 2025-2026 school year under our board policy number 2220. As a board, you must approve a calendar for the upcoming school year by June 1st. This proposed calendar was developed with input from a staff and family survey that I've shared that data previously here at a board meeting, as well as feedback from our principals, again, our REA leadership and RCA leadership that are here this evening. There are several important dates which are listed in the board packet. We had shared previously the winter break dates of December 22nd through January 2nd and spring break of April 6th through 10th. But the big ones that people really want to know is when does school start? So first day of school, August 27th, last day of school, June 17th. We will be continuing our late start Wednesdays for professional learning communities work at all campuses. And we will be doing that consistently every Wednesday of the entire year, including the first and last day, should they fall on a Wednesday. It's recommended the board approve the proposed calendar as presented.
I move that we approve item 9A as presented.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Moving on to item 9B. This is to approve resolution number 2024-2025-008. This is a resolution to ensure that we will not create or aggravate a racial imbalance in enrollment as we build elementary number 3. This resolution is required as part of the School Construction and Assistance Program, or SCAP D-form process, in order to access those state funds that we have discussed before. It's recommended the board approve resolution number 2024-2025-008, resolution of racial balance.
I move that we approve 9B as presented. Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Moving on, this item 9C, resolution number 2024-2025-009 is also for the D-form process to access the OSPI SCAP dollars. This is approval of educational specifications for new elementary school number 3. It's worth noting these specs were originally drafted in 2018. So we have worked with our partners to put together really an update or an addendum, which is all included in the board packet and available on the website for anyone who has an interest, to just address the design updates and changes to reduction square footage, updated code requirements, and simplified design. In addition, the district's in the process of creating a new strategic plan. So you'll see in that original ed specs document the old strategic plan. And in the interest of the timeline that we have, we're opting to move forward with the original document with the addendum versus redoing all of it. So recommending the board approve resolution number 2024-2025-009, educational specifications, new elementary number 3. I move that we approve item 9C.
I second.
Any discussion?
Just thank you for all of that clarifying information just now as you introduced that resolution about the folder documents as part of this package. So thank you.
Yeah. I'm all about not paying people to re-edit things. So, okay. All right, moving on.
Sorry, we didn't vote. I was
sorry.
a comment in the
Look at me, I
discussion.
just got distracted.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Apologies. All right, moving on to item 9G. This is resolution number 2024-2025-10, resolution approving the reduction in force or RIF. I've spoken quite a bit already about this, but just to note, we do have enrollment continuing to increase, but as we've talked about before in preparation for the levy and consideration of how we might tackle capital projects, our enrollment has slowed significantly over the last 3 to 4 years compared to what it was a decade ago. A reminder that we approved a deficit budget in the 23-24 school year, as well as this current 24-25 school year. Additionally, the state continues to underfund public school staff, including what they pay for teachers, counselors, psychologists, and the like, as well as material supplies and other operating costs. And even with the incredible support of our community through local funds, such as the renewed EPNO levy, we do not have revenue sufficient to maintain all of current staff. We've made every effort to reduce expenditures through staff attrition over the past 12 months. And I didn't say this before, so I will. We made quite a plea and a call out for people who are considering resignation or retirement. We've had 3 people fill that out. We employ over 400 people directly and many more through our partnerships through Chartwells and ABM. So it's a less than 1% turnover. I've never seen a turnover that low ever in my life and any employment that I've been in. So really speaks highly to the commitment of our staff, as well as I think having strong contracts. And it's a great place to work here in Ridgefield, but it does make it harder to cut back when we need to. Based on everything that we've shared this evening, it is recommended that the board approve resolution number 2024-2025-10, resolution approving reduction in force.
I move that we approve item 9D as presented.
I second.
Any discussion?
I mean, I shared my comments earlier, I think.
My only add to this is this does come with a heavy heart. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that one hurt. Moving on to item 9E. The next stack that I'm going to share with you, these are all first reads of revised board policies. As we discussed at our January board retreat, we have a number of policies and procedures that need to be updated to be brought current. So at the board's direction, we're starting with all of the policies that are required that we don't have, along with some health and safety types of things for students. And then we'll be working our way through the student policies that are haven't been looked at in a long time, including like the discipline policy that I referenced earlier. So this first one is first read of revised board policy number 5260, use of facilities. Part of this update has been to bring the policy in line with WASDA model policy and some district practice. What I also just want to bring some attention to, I'm not going to read what's here, is that we've done a significant overhaul of the procedure. So once this policy is approved at the following board meeting, if the board chooses to do so, we're implementing a new streamlined policy for facility use that we hope will better meet the needs of our community and just be more clear around how to do that, what's available, what it costs. We're also slightly reducing some of the rental costs and just streamlining that to be even numbers. And then there'll be a new cost sheet for the different facilities that will come out as well. So we have some folks that are really excited about this policy, and it's taken me quite some time to kind of get it all figured out. But again, just a first reading, happy to answer any questions.
I want to say just thank you for getting to the point where we're at right now. It has been a major topic for the community. Our facilities are so well used. Just trying to iron this out. Well, you know, it's been a little while to get here, but I appreciate the work and that is on the docket now. So thank you for that work.
I did have one question based on some conversations that came up last school year, if I can remember the time, around parent volunteer like groups. Does that fall under this sort of child-related group? So an example would be like a parent who is not for profit, like running, coaching a team of students who are Ridgefield students primarily, don't have nonprofit status necessarily, would like to be able to reserve the use of a facility to work with students in that way as a volunteer or leader in the community. What does that fall under?
Yes, we've gone back and forth. That's part of what's taken a lot of time. And we've met with some of our largest user groups, folks that use our facilities a lot, as well as Brandon Shipley, who does a great job as our athletic director. I have to give a shout out to Kendra Martin, who's the queen of Facilitron. I think she'd like to give that title to someone else. But yes, we've actually streamlined it now to just 3 buckets.
Yeah.
The first bucket is school or child related groups.
So that would
include really anything that's going to be Ridgefield kids, scouts, 4-H, any kind of governmental agency would fall into that. PTA, PTOs, our booster clubs, someone who's coaching a sports team for Ridgefield students. We are also going to narrow down or clean up, like I said, in the procedure. So previously there was like specific percentages, and I'll just be honest, I have a lot of other things to do besides check rosters of sports teams.
Yep.
So people are on their honor. I'm going to trust that they're going to follow it the way that it's written. The second group is nonprofit. We've eliminated the in-district, out-of-district. If people are nonprofit and they want to do good things for our community, we want them to be able to use our facilities at that nonprofit rate. And the last group is commercial enterprises, and this is really for folks that are business related or profit-making organizations. And in general, when you look at the new updated fee schedule, which will come out again probably after the next board meeting, you'll see that there's a price set for the school and student related. It's approximately double that for in-district, out-of-district nonprofit, and approximately double that for a business. So that is a way that we're able to manage the use of those facilities.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Just one question I've heard is for a shared space, like those facilities that overlap with the city, how's the policy align with city's policies or so forth? How does that?
With we have some co-use of some facilities, and so we have other agreements that speak to the co-use, and then and some of those spaces require agreement by the city. We're also due for a 5-year renewal of some of those agreements, so we're looking at those right now too.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Item 9, I'm going to do F, G, and H actually together because currently these are a single policy for us. WASTA now recommends that they're broken out into 3 separate policies. There's been very little change, but we did have Stacey Regalado, who is our Director of Health Services, and our district nurse did review all of these and made sure that they were up to date. So the first one is number 6700 nutrition. The second one is 6701 recess and physical activity. And the third one is 6702 wellness. And so you do have the red line versions, but again, basically this has been just cut into 3 separate policies to align with WASDA's numbering system. Happy to answer any questions.
I did have a question about this. I was looking at specifically the recess and physical activity section, and I noticed it was redlined. There was a specific line, not saying it here, but I wrote it down on my notes, but it said recess and then also physical education
first, physical education class is not to be withheld as punishment for any reason, and then also recess later on, which will not be used or withheld as punishment for any reason. And it was changed to recess will aim to be safe, inclusive, and high quality. And I just was wondering if there was clarification on why that change was made.
I can tell you that the recess issue specifically is in the new emergency discipline rules. So that language will end up probably when we update our student discipline policy and procedure. I couldn't tell you why they pulled it out of this one, but we just had a webinar around the new discipline rules, and recess specifically was discussed as something that cannot be withheld as a consequence for students. Great. Okay. Next one, number 9I, first read of board policy number 1805, open government training. This is a required WASDA policy that says y'all as school board members need to make sure that you've done your open government training. This is just a policy we haven't had in place. It is actually an essential policy, so we just want to have it on the books officially. All of you have completed this. It's required to be done within 90 days of taking the oath of office, and again every 4 years. So it really follows your election cycle. Happy to answer questions.
Very fun training.
Fascinating. Yeah.
It really is. It was actually very good.
Government, I don't have anything appropriate to say to that, so, okay. I'm getting tired. 9J, first read of new board policy number 2414, community service. And we heard about some awesome service, our NHS kids. I'm with you. I was an NHS kid too. I know we had to do some volunteer hours, but nothing as cool as what our Ridgefield kids are doing. So just a big shout out to them. This policy recognizes that volunteering connects our students to our community, and that community service is associated with increased civic awareness, which as a board, we definitely want to support. In addition, our high school has the seal of community service as a way to encourage students to engage in community service during their high school experience. Policy 2414 is actually a required WASDA policy regarding the community service opportunities for students. This is just a policy we've not had in place. So again, we just want to get this on the books. Happy to answer questions.
So it's not going to be a requirement, just encouraged.
Correct. So it is not a graduation requirement, but we do have a current practice in place at our high school that for students who do, I believe it's 400.
It's 144.
Oh, 144. Oh, look, I was being like real tough there. 144 hours of documented community service, and they get that seal upon graduation, but it is not a graduation requirement.
I just, great policy, because that we are building, you know, the next Margie Stoner through that. So, I mean, that's community service at its best right there.
Okay. And the next one, item 9K, first read of new board policy number 5400, personnel leaves. This proposed policy is in alignment with, again, the WASDA model policy. It just outlines the kinds of leave that can be granted to staff. Collective bargaining agreements, our CBAs with our labor partners, always trump the policy, but it's good for us to have something in place in policy as well. So it will be recommended at the next board meeting that you approve this new policy too. Happy to answer questions.
I don't think there are any. So with that being said, we do have executive session tonight. So we're going to go into executive session for 20 minutes.
You'll have to move for us to go into executive session, and tonight it's going to be for the purchase or lease of real estate, RCW 42.30.110.1B.
I move we go to executive session for 20 minutes for the stated purpose.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you. See you in 20 minutes if you're still here. Okay, are we good to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are back from executive session. There was no action taken, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Lots of signatures, folks.